All right, now there is another method called synthetic division that gives you a little bit simpler method. It is restricted though. It's only when you divide by something like that, x minus a number, or x plus a number. It's written as x minus a number because you can think of it as x minus a negative number, which would be x plus the number x plus a. So over here, when it says x minus 5, your a is actually 5. But when it says x plus 3, your a is actually negative 3. Now it's important that you switch that sign. You can use synthetic division only when it looks like this, only when the divisor looks like that. And when you identify a, it's always the opposite of what's inside the number. Must be linear. That means the degree is 1. Okay. Requirements, there must be a coefficient for every possible power of the variable, just like we did before. Right, this example, oops, that one right there, we put in that 0x squared to hold that place. Same thing for these guys, there has to be a spot for each of them. So right here, there's no x to the third, so we would put a 0 in that spot, and then the coefficient for that would be the 0. The divisor, the outside thing, must have a leading coefficient of 1. If not, you should try and divide by it. Okay, synthetic division process. Once you see this, you'll remember it because back then when you learned it, you were like, oh, this is so much easier than long division. Write the terms of the polynomial in descending order. So regular old standard form. So 5x to the fourth minus 4x squared plus x plus 6. That is descending order. But you have to make sure that you've got that missing term in there. So we're going to put plus 0x to the third. Okay, the other thing that you have to focus on is this right here, the constant a. If your divisor is x minus 3, then a is 3. All right, next, you set it up like this. You write the divisor, the a, on the outside, and then on the inside are going to be all those coefficients. So a 5, leave a space, 0, leave a space, negative 4, sign included, space, 1, space, 6. Now the process to complete it looks like this. You bring down the first number, and then you multiply diagonally by the 3. So 3 times 5 is 15. You write it above the line. And then you add down, and you get 15. And then the same process. Multiply diagonal. 3 times 15, that's 45. And then you add down, which gives us 41. Same process. 3 times 41 is 123. Add down. Then you multiply again diagonal. 3 times 124, that is 372. Yes. And then you add down. Okay, that's the process. That was these steps right here. Right, multiply, bring down the first coefficient, multiply a by the bottom number, and write that below the next one, and then add down. Then you repeat steps 4 through 5 until you get past that last one. All right, so these right here are part of your answer. The answer gets written like this. You're going to put your variables back in. So we started here with an x to the fourth, x to the third, x squared, x, and then this was just a constant. If I started with x to the fourth, once I divide one out, this is going to be an x to the third. You just always subtract it. So one less that of the beginning. This will be x squared, x, and this is the constant term. And then you apply your signs. They're plus, plus, plus. This guy right here, he's the remainder. So remembering how we wrote the other answers, here, remember, we take the dividend and then we add the remainder over that divisor. Same thing. So it's going to be an answer of 5x to the third plus 15x squared plus 41x plus 124. And at the very end, it's going to be plus 378, and we divide it by x minus 3. Now again, this only can be used when it's dividing by a linear factor. So x minus 3, x plus 1, x plus 6, whatever it is, it's got to be a single x with a coefficient of 1. Okay, use synthetic division to divide this by that. So first thing I look for is to make sure there's a term for every power. There's an x to the third missing, so we're going to put 0x to the third inside there. And the second thing you identify is a. Now because it's plus 3, that means the a is actually a negative number because it was x minus a negative 3 to get to there. Okay, filling out our synthetic division, we've got negative 3 on the outside, that's a. Inside, now we've got, I forgot to show you this double bar, it's like a double layered upside down division bar. So putting our coefficients in, okay, and then inside are going to be your coefficients, so 1, 0 for x to the third, negative 10, negative 2, and 4. Process starts with bringing down the first number, then you multiply diagonals, negative 3 times 1 is negative 3, and add down. Multiply diagonals and add down. Multiply diagonals, add down. Diagonals, add down. Okay, and then we're going to put our variables back in. So we started with x to the fourth, right? Which means our new variables are going to start with x to the third, and then it decreases by 1. And then this guy right here is always your remainder. So final answer is x to the third, we don't have to write the 1 out there, minus 3x squared minus x plus 1 plus 1 over my divisor, which was x plus 3. And that's it. Okay, let's try one more. Again, first thing I look at is I say, are there any terms missing in here? There is. This time it's just a t term, right? So in here is supposed to be 0t. There's a t term missing. There's t cubed, t squared, and a 1, but there's no t term going on inside. So it's actually going to be t to the third minus 6t squared plus 1, sorry, plus 0t plus 1. Okay, our numbers then, oh, sorry, and this is going to make a equal negative 2. Doesn't matter what the variables are. What matters is where you place them. So negative 2 on the outside. Inside will be 1, space negative 6, space 0, space 1. Process says start with bringing down the first number, multiplying diagonally right above, and add. Multiply diagonally right above and add. Negative 32, add. So negative 31, that's going to be our remainder. Okay, putting our variables back in, we started with t to the third here, which means we'll have t squared, t, and then just the constant, and this guy's going to be our remainder. Final answer then is t squared minus 8t plus 16 minus 31 over t plus 2. And that's it.